We're on the air.
I got me a mouthful of coffee. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Matt. Welcome to Suzilla.
Hey, Susie. Welcome to Wenatchee Insurance.
Yeah. Welcome to Thursday, everyone. So we're here, and you're at Wenatchee Insurance. This is Wenatchee, Washington. This is Suzilla. What are we talking about, Matt?
We are talking about the superpower for small business, which is flexibility.
Flexibility. Okay. The ability to pivot, for example.
It's a great example because even in our boring business, we have points where we pivot.
That's true. True. Insurance is not exactly earth-shatteringly interesting for most people.
Well, yeah. Well, on the outside, you look in for because on just the health side.
Yeah.
October 15th is when Medicare starts. It goes to December 7th. November 1st through the December 15th is the health enrollment.
Right.
With another one from December 16th to January 15th.
If you want a February 1st start date.
And people see that, you're just all peaches and cream.
No, there's no such thing as peaches and cream when it comes to insurance.
And that's the point they fixate on.
Oh, okay.
Because they're outsiders.
Yes, because why would they know?
Yeah.
It's not their job to know.
It's not their job.
It's my job.
In life, when you're employed, you still have that pivot point of, hey, the employer says, hey, this is my insurance.
Yep.
You pick your plan.
Even employer plans have enrollment periods. You don't necessarily realize it, but they do exist.
So yeah, but that is the pivot point that everyone's aware of.
Right.
Until the employer says, hey, you know what? I can't do that, or you get hired on by someone, or you freelance and strike out on your own. And then you're back to the large groups like us.
Right.
So those are the pivot points. But on the back end, we have pivot points that most people don't realize. One of the ones we use a lot is our Black Friday.
Yes. Black Friday is always, it's the day after Thanksgiving that's been called Black Friday for years.
Yeah.
And it started with the retails, of course, hey, this is when we're going to get in the black for the year. Because that's where most of our sales are. And it's just, we've taken it and embraced it as a opportunity to just do something different.
Well, on that line of the retailers and their Black Friday, that's why you see a large portion that used to pivot at that point and say, oh my gosh, we got to move this inventory. Where are the sales at?
Exactly.
So that's a natural pivot point for a lot of those retailers. We do the same thing. We evaluate where we're at in the enrollment cycle. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is the direction we pivot to.
Black Friday became a thing because a lot of people, because Thanksgiving is on a Thursday, tons and tons of people had Friday off. And so they would take it and go shopping.
The folks with money.
People with money had the day off. And they would pick up and they would use it as and nothing going on, but usually there was family around. So
family, football, and hey, let's go shopping.
Let's go shopping. So it became a thing to a point where it got ridiculous in a while. I think it's cooled way down over the last few years for shopping. But it's still an opportunity to, for us to make a pivot point out of it, to say, hey, we're here doing something different.
Yeah, and it's one of those weird little pivot points out there that we've adopted into our business. The next one a lot of families have is December. You got the Monday after Thanksgiving, and that's Cyber Monday.
Yeah, I thought it was. And then the weekend is Small Business Saturday.
Yeah, they're
trying lots of rebranding.
You've got some pivots there. Yeah. But the next major one is December 26th, Boxing Day.
Also known as Returns Day.
Returns Day. So you've got, hey, I've got all these goods and stuff that I don't necessarily want, or I'm going to exchange them at a white elephant party.
Or I'm going to go spend my gift cards.
Again, natural pivot point.
Absolutely. That's not something that's really naturally pivotable in insurance, but
Oh, well, at that point, we get from that 26th to January 1st, where we're getting into the, hey, where's my cards?
yeah, we're doing the service work, a lot of it, and we're
Mhm.
also getting the occasional, oh my gosh, I forgot.
Yes.
And which is fine at that point, because in Washington State, that can still get you a coverage for February 1st.
Yes, and that's the point where we're doing the, oh my gosh, we got the pivot points. The next one is usually after January,
Mm-hmm.
and you saw that in the pharmacy industry.
Yes.
The walk in and, oh my gosh, my plan didn't work.
Yeah. How come you don't have my new insurance information? Because you didn't give it to me. Well, I don't have. They never sent me a card. Yeah, they did. You probably just didn't open the envelope.
So yeah, that's the, the pivot point that pharmacies have. It's like, oh my gosh, what do we do here?
Yep, and a lot of it was go call your insurance company, get a copy of your card, talk to somebody, because it ain't me. How come they don't send it to you? Because that's not what we do. Nothing's automatic in this industry, people.
But yeah, that's one of those important things that people don't realize. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like that. So we're cruising around and we're doing the reviews and figuring out, okay, did someone make their payment, or are they losing coverage?
Right. Doing the whole make sure you make your payment stuff.
And that's our January, February.
Oh, very much so. It's a lot of second touches. Hey, don't forget to make your initial payment. Hey, did you here's your temporary card if you need it. All kinds of little bits and pieces.
And on the back end, we're retooling. It's like, okay, what is our how are we going to maintain what we're doing?
Mm-hmm.
So
what's our plan for the year?
So it goes from a heavy appointment load to, oh my gosh, let's do the cleanup, and let's make sure we've got space so people can easily and readily use our service for special enrollments.
Exactly. And special enrollments are when you have something that is not typical. You've lost your job, you got married, you had a baby, a million different things.
Yeah, we
and that happens around year round.
Yeah.
Washington State, we have our Cascade Care program. If your income is low enough, you've got a year round possibility. If you're a Native American tribal member, you have year round possibilities. Kofa Islander.
Yeah,
there's all kinds of different opportunities that occur and Apple Health, if your income is low enough and you qualify for Washington State Medicaid, year round enrollment. So I'm always helping people with their health insurance.
Yeah, it looks like we run about, I think the lowest we've run is like 75 appointments
in a month.
Yeah. Right now, I think the highest we've done off an open enrollment cycles has been 100.
I don't know. Are you just talking ACA stuff? Because if I throw my Medicare in there,
that's what the Medicare.
Oh, really? Yeah. I have been so busy.
One of the things
that's like 4 appointments a day.
Yeah, and some of the thing is we've got a compressed schedule.
Yeah, it's true. We're saving Fridays for other stuff right now
for training and other things that we need to get done. So we've got our schedule compressed. Then there's been this push pull. First week, really busy every month. That's
true.
Last week, really busy every month.
Yes, and then it cools down those middle 2 weeks.
Yeah, the middle 2 weeks are cool. But that's the natural rhythm, and you got to be flexible in that natural rhythm of finding things.
Absolutely.
And for instance, we've got a candidate that wants to come in and learn about healthcare.
Yeah, we have someone who's running for state
senate,
District 12. She wants to come and visit with us, and we said sure.
Because we do that because we know that insurance is governed by laws. So it's very important to talk with lawmakers.
Exactly. They need to know what we know so they can make informed decisions to help the industry and help their constituents.
Because we're at the ground level. We deal with hundreds of, literally thousands at this point, of people at that level, and we understand what it takes to serve them and take care of them. And what they're looking for.
Exactly. And your politicians, although it's super they are super involved in it without realizing it. They don't really, this isn't what they embrace and understand necessarily. So so the smart ones talk to folks like us to get the advice. We've said all along, the smart people bring in experts around them.
Yeah.
And that's what this politician is doing. We'll see if we like her or not. I'm not endorsing anybody at this point because
we generally don't endorse people.
No,
we endorse policies.
Policies, yes. But we've actually, I don't think we've ever been asked to specifically endorse anyone.
No, we have not.
No. Either way,
there's a couple that we've kind of semi-promoted,
yeah,
just because of what they were doing.
And they were on the right track for us.
Well, it's not the right track for us; it's the right track for the consumer.
Yeah,
because what we being flexible means that you're also consumer focused.
Yes, that's true. In this industry, absolutely.
In every industry.
Well, not every industry is consumer related, though.
Every industry is consumer related.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is...
Why do you say that?
Cell phones.
Okay.
Do we have the same cell phone that we did 10 years ago?
No. Well, no.
No.
Same brand.
Same brand, but we roll cell phones. Everyone rolls cell phones. We don't drive the same car. We usually don't drive the same car every 10 years.
No.
Cars have gotten better, and we are driving them longer.
That's true.
And at the same time, you steadily replace things and update things.
Yeah.
There are definite trends that consumers have.
Yes.
And if you don't acknowledge that, you say, oh, well, this is the one thing that will work for the next, 20 years. You're wrong.
Yeah. Things move too fast for that these days. There might have been a point 50, 60 years ago where you could almost say that. That just isn't the case anymore.
So what you do is you focus on consumers.
And see what they want?
It's not always what they want, because they can be swayed by
shiny things.
I'm
susceptible to shiny things.
It is, focusing, okay, what's the wants and needs, and communicating it well.
Yeah. Communicating it well is very important.
There's a great example out there.
Okay, go ahead.
And it's the pivot and the flexibility that the Washington State CARES program did. It's the long-term program.
Yeah.
And long-term health is probably the next big tackle thing for the insurance world after health.
Yes.
Because so many people use it.
Or could use it.
Are going to use it.
Will be using it.
Will be using it. It's just...
Or will be needing it and not having it.
And it will be needing and not having it. Because what happens when as we age, yes, you use your private insurance. And then you'll use your assets.
Yep.
And then you will, oh my gosh, you'll be on Medicaid.
That's if you're going to an assisted living nursing home situation. That's what we're talking about, long-term care.
Well, it's not just going to the home, because some of the care is...
Oh, that's true. There's
visitation.
Yeah, there is in-home options as well.
And that is that important. The long-term care puts that flexibility into a household.
True. Yes, that's absolutely true.
And at the same time, it was horribly, horribly communicated. There was actually a very strong attack campaign against that freaked out a whole lot of people.
Yep.
It's still kind of going on. And at the same time, the people in charge of the program is like, oh yeah, we really need to come out and communicate about it better. And they're starting to do that now.
Oh, that's good. I haven't really noticed, but I've been focused on other stuff.
Yeah, and so yeah, you're getting this steady stream of new content out into the universe that talks about the importance of oh my gosh, I need some rehabilitation care. Yeah, and I've got ability to take care of it.
Well, one thing about the CARES program is it's not huge. It's not a huge amount of funding for your long-term care.
Oh, by no means.
No, by no means. But it gets you in the door,
Mm-hmm.
literally, and it helps stretch Medicaid out.
And the important thing is Medicaid is state money.
It is.
So the state had to figure out, okay, how are we gonna creatively fund and stretch our state dollars out? And so they put in this small payroll tax, which is actually cheaper than going out and purchasing an individual plan.
It is. It is.
That's underwritten.
Yes, because this is just fair game. I mean, everyone that works for somebody gets this.
And you can opt in as if you're an independent business.
If you're a small business owner, yep, absolutely. If you're a 1099 or you own your own business, you can opt into it and contribute to it. One thing that folks need to realize, it's another tax. They're just taxing me for something I'll never use. Well, yeah, you don't know that, for one. And you got to think about your neighbors and the fact that if all of these, it's about the baby boomers. No offense to baby boomers and my generation, Gen X, we're coming onto it too. They figure, what's the percentage that's going to end up using long-term care? Like 70%?
It's
a very large
amount.
number. And the thing is, especially the Gen Xers, we're having a hard time saving for our retirement. So we don't necessarily have a
well, that's been created because of student loan debt.
Yes.
And because we were faced with oh my gosh, to get a better job, I need better education. I don't have the flexibility of being able to work a day job, get enough money, and go to school at the same time. I'm going to use the student loans to get there in a very predatory manner. And
suddenly you take a $35,000 student loan. You pay $35,000 and you still owe $30,000. I have seen that time and time and time again.
And that very same nature of oh my gosh, pay that, still owe that debt, that same process that is used to extract that wealth of our generation is also going to impact, because it's the same technique used for retirement savings.
Yes.
So our generation's being deprived of being able to purchase large ticket items, such as housing.
Can't afford a house because that extra $500 a month is going to a bank.
We can't put away for retirement
because that $500 a month is going to a bank.
We can't put our kids into college.
Yes. And that's a heartbreaker.
So we're creating this cycle that's perpetuated to encourage student loans.
Yeah.
And that's because and you got to have flexibility.
Yep, you got to be able to pivot away from that. So if you can.
So you look at, okay, how are we going to put flexibility into that system to break the cycle?
Right. That's what's happening is the cycle needs to be broken, and then the theory of let's forgive these predatory student loans for the people who've already paid the full amount that they've already borrowed and are still paying. That's what they're talking about forgiving.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you borrowed $35,000, you've paid $35,000. The loan has been repaid. The loaner has gotten their nut. They're just milking at this point. So that's what the forgiveness is about, is getting rid of that extra.
So you're putting
the VIG.
You got to take care of the VIG. We want to put that flexibility back in. And here's the rub. Susie and I have got 0 student loans.
Correct.
Never have it.
Nope.
We didn't go to college, or limited amount of college. And it's one of those things we look at. It's like, absolutely, they're forgiving those small numbers. Absolutely will make a difference in the economy.
Absolutely. Well, think about it. Not just from putting that money back in the consumer's pockets, that $500 a month, or sometimes more, sometimes less, they will turn around, people will turn around and spend it. That is billions of dollars back in the economy.
Yeah, they'll put billions of dollars back in the economy. Some will start small businesses.
Some will pay off other debt. Some will buy homes. Some will buy cars. Someone will buy a refrigerator. Someone will put their kids in college. Some will save for retirement. There's a million different things that they will do with that money.
And that's the power of flexibility.
Exactly. And it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why are people fighting against it?
They're playing the strong game.
Okay.
And the strong game is being inflexible. It's the, hey, I've got mine. It's the strongest it'll ever be. It can never change. And it's fragile.
It's brittle. Like a diamond. It's maybe one of the strongest stones out there, but if you hit it wrong, it's going to shatter.
Yeah. We saw that in COVID. Mm-hmm. The businesses that were not able to put some flexibility into their systems.
Mm-hmm. They had to close.
And we see that time and time again. Mm-hmm. We see the same concepts put in franchises. Mm-hmm. Because franchises, yes, you're getting the strength of a brand.
Yeah.
And some of the support behind it. Uh-huh. But you're not getting necessarily the flexibility to accommodate all of the customers' needs.
Correct. We run into that. If you've got, we were noticing that earlier this week when one of our local radio stations pivoted from their local morning DJs to
syndication show.
A syndication show, basically. They've got a canned setup. And what they lost with that is the local presence. The hey, let's go do this. Let's go be present on the avenue for Halloween. Let's go do remotes and talk about
the home show.
The home show. Oh,
rails and ales.
Yeah, all that stuff.
All of the exciting stuff that makes local radio an experience.
Exactly, and that's gone.
And
it's gone.
Poof.
Absolutely gone.
And me as a business owner mm-hmm. that has participated over the years mm-hmm. in radio for different experiences for my customers mm-hmm. to do that outreach, mm-hmm. those are tools that are gone.
Yep. So, but that's because when this particular station group was purchased, they were purchased by a very, very large group that is not necessarily locally focused, no matter what they say.
Well, it's not. Their look is how do we dominate the United States? Because mm-hmm. it's that large of network.
It is. It's huge.
It's in the top 10.
It's top 3 actually.
And
it's huge.
Yeah.
And they're interested, of course, in their goal is not producing content. Their goal is producing advertising dollars.
And I was like looking at that, it's like, oh my gosh, why? It looks great on paper because mm-hmm. talent costs money.
It does.
You have less that you have to direct as a station manager mm-hmm. because, oh my gosh, herding talent is like herding cats.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And because you got to invest in them, you've mm-hmm. got to care for them, and you have to do certain things when you have staff. Mm-hmm. So they've entered that sweet spot of, oh my gosh, I got lower overhead, so my revenue is going to appear to increase.
Uh-huh. They cut payroll to make the bottom line look better.
Yeah.
We've seen that in retail. It's huge in retail to do that. But it creates a customer service nightmare.
Yeah. For the ones who stay.
Mm-hmm.
It takes the customers that want to come in and consume hey, why, who's Fred I'm talking to in this phone back in Indiana?
Yeah.
Where's my local people?
Yeah.
So you've destroyed the experience, and and our economy is driven by experience. And unless you want to compete in like an Amazon format,
good luck.
You need to make sure that your businesses create that warmth of experience.
Well, even the Amazon format creates an experience.
Oh, yeah.
Because people, you have to have the right pictures, you have to have the right reviews, you have to have the right descriptors, because it's an experience for the shopper.
Well, that's the talent behind those individual stores and the individual thing. And Amazon has admitted that they cannot, get rid of fake reviews.
No.
And so you'll get these large media corporations that are just generating massive amounts of search engine power.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll drive their content to great search engine, and then they'll turn around and they'll sell that space to some businesses
Mm-hmm.
of the, hey, this is my reach, this is what you can do with
Mm-hmm.
my brand.
Yep.
Spend money on me.
Yes, I will increase your SEO.
And it does, and it doesn't at the same time.
It's very, I don't know, it just doesn't seem very personable.
It's not very personable. If you don't know what you're doing with SEO, it doesn't make that large of difference. We've seen that time and time again.
Well, what these big predatory groups are doing is they're saying, well, we know you don't understand this, but we'll do it for you. And they'll hand you this giant pile of statistics that you will not understand, with a little chart that shows a little line going up, and you say, oh, I guess I'm doing better.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll give them more money. And you're probably not getting any more connections with your clients or your customers.
Yeah. Unless, and these are the two exceptions. This is where the flexibility comes in.
Yes.
One, you and your team are able to produce quality content.
Mm-hmm.
Two, their team is able to produce quality content.
That's the key, is the content.
And we've been doing this for over a decade.
I know. I just realized that. It's like, oh my gosh.
Of creating different content for different things. My first ones were horrible.
Yeah.
Just point blank. My first radio commercials that I did years ago on that country station were stinking horrible. And the reason they were horrible was, for me to be able to do it, I had to have participating dollars from a corporation.
Mm-hmm.
That gave me the strength to be able to produce it.
Mm-hmm.
However, it did not give me the quality and content to get the users to connect.
No.
And that's that flexibility bridge.
Yep. One of the things, okay, I'm going to be a little braggy here.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that has made our radio ads better is the fact that I'm good at it.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I'm the voice of Wenatchee Insurance.
You're one of the voices.
I was the only voice for a long time. And now Matt's getting better at it. We brought Shayla in, who's got he's got skills as well. And we're starting to really, our advertising is branching into our team more. And that's a pivot.
That is a pivot.
Because we want to make sure everyone knows we do more than just health insurance. I'm the voice of the health insurance line.
And that was a very important pivot, because
Mm-hmm.
we pivoted from just being a mom and pop
to a full-on partnership.
Well, it was mom and pop
Mm-hmm.
to, hey, we're your regional team.
There you go.
And it's we picked our town of Wenatchee
Mm-hmm.
as that focus point, because for better part of 100 years, when people came to town to shop,
mm-hmm.
they came to Wenatchee.
Yep. And that's still true. It's still true. You've no idea how often, if I've got people coming in from Twisp or Tonasket or Okanagan or Quincy or Ephrata, and that happens a lot, they make a day of it.
Mm-hmm.
They come into town, they come see me, they hit Costco inevitably and do their other, and maybe go see the doctor, mm-hmm. or go see this or go see that, and they make a day of it. Coming to Wenatchee to take care of some of these big appointments is still a thing.
Oh yeah.
And that's true of many of these middle-sized cities in rural areas. And that's what so we try to make an experience for people who are coming to our office.
Yeah,
so it's a good thing to have to go see your insurance person.
It's very, and at the same time, because we have enough technology, if say, oh my gosh, the canyon has had a rock slide, I can't get down.
And that's happened.
That has happened more than once. It's like, not a problem. We can take care of this over the phone.
We'll do it over the phone. We'll do a video chat. Or if there's a snowstorm.
We've done snowstorm.
As enrollments during the winter. Or if it's just, I don't feel good. I have COVID. Great. Stay home. Let's talk on the phone.
So yeah, it is the power of flexibility. And you lose that power the minute you start clinging to strength.
Yeah. Yep.
So
eventually it will shatter.
It will shatter. It's happened time and time again. Because you're not focused on the strength of the consumer.
Nope.
You're not empowering your consumers.
Nope. It's that too big to fail theory.
It is that too big to fail theory.
And we know that ain't true.
So, hey, pay attention to your flexibility. Having savings in your bank account is an example of flexibility.
Yep, that's true.
Changing up your cell phone every couple of years is an example of flexibility.
Are you saying we need to shop for cell phones?
Right now, we are on we've been on a very inflexible path.
Yeah.
Since November 15th of last year.
We're on a fixed path that we have to resolve before we can be flexible again.
Well, no, we've got flexibility along the way.
Yeah.
And we're
financially
we are picking up more as we go along.
That's true.
And that's really important because of the situation that we are in. It was a moment of when we were very inflexible.
Yeah. But we've learned how to be flexible in other areas because of it. All right. Either way, no such thing as too big to fail.
Be flexible out there.
Be flexible out there. We will talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.